Right, let's move on to the 5 takeaways, where we take a look at the game and see what 5 things we can take away from the game. And first up, we're going to be looking at Højbjerg stepping in.
Yeah, and there was a lot of obviously conversation going into this game about Pierre Højbjerg coming in for Bissouma. Bissouma obviously serving that 1-match suspension after the red card against Luton, and he'd been such an important player this season for us. And there were question marks whether having Højbjerg in that position would make a big difference to how we approach the game. And I would say there was a difference, but we did things in a different way, and different doesn't mean worse, it just means different, and that's what Højbjerg provided us. Obviously 95% passing accuracy, 4 out of 7 ground duels, 4 out of 5 long passes as well, completed the interception for the second goal, which allowed us to see out the game. And I thought by and large throughout the game he was pretty impeccable. He was strong, he was a leader in that central midfield, and I thought he stepped in for Bissouma really well, and I was really happy for him. And he didn't do things that Bissouma does, but he just did his job in a different way, and he showed that he can be a functional part in that number 6 position under Postecoglou if given the opportunity.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think that when you see how vital and important Bissouma is to us every single game, I mean, we've said it a number of times on this channel that we dread to think what happens when Bissouma comes out this team. Well, we saw it for the first time this season in terms of a Premier League game, and I thought Højbjerg stepped up admirably well, to be honest, and I was super impressed and appreciated his passing ability, especially those long-range passes that he was doing on the day. And I couldn't have asked for more from Pierre as well. Nearly got on the score sheet as well with a bit of a pile driver from that layoff from Maddison, which I thought was a good effort, and had his hand in the first goal as well, being aggressive, or second goal, sorry, being aggressive in the middle of the park and playing the ball quickly to Heung-min Son. So brilliant stuff from Pierre. Let's move on to the second takeaway, and that is elite Sonny.
Yeah, and again, Heung-min Son showing his elite finishing ability and showing why he is a world-class forward and why he's an absolute elite finisher. He scored his 7th goal of the season yesterday from only 3.5 expected goals, which is an incredible overperformance yet again of expected goals, which happens season after season after season. I don't think there's been a season where apart from maybe last season, where I haven't double checked, but even last season I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think there's been a season where he hasn't really seriously outperformed his expected goals, and that just goes to show his level of finishing. But he's not just a goal scorer. He had 4 key passes on the day, which again shows his creative ability coming to the fore, which I think this season has come on another level. When he actually obviously got the assist from Maddison's the second goal with Maddison, completed 3 of his 4 dribbles as well, and overall 8 goal contributions in 9 games for Heung-min Son, keeping pace with Erling Haaland, who has I think 9 Premier League goals at the moment. He's just doing an exceptional job in the forward line, and he really is elite, and I think he deserves even I still think now when people talk about him, they don't talk about him as one of the best strikers in the Premier League, and I think he deserves that respect.
Yeah, he definitely deserves that respect. I mean, when you're scoring as many goals as he is doing with the chances that he's getting, it's just unbelievable. It really is. He's leading by example, one of the best captains we've seen in a while at Spurs. And he's just such a wholesome character, Heung-min Son. You know, you look at him and your heart can't not be full, because he's just such an amazing person to look at, to watch on the pitch, to see off the pitch. His leadership qualities, everything about him is just unbelievable. And as much as he's been great in a Spurs shirt and he's been unbelievable and playing to an elite level before this season, I feel that he's just getting so much better. And age is treating him well, in my opinion. So lovely performances from Heung-min Son on and off the pitch.
I think he's doing what all good players do, and that's adapt your game as you go older to kind of match your age. I think Kane's done that. People like Salah have done that. You know, Ronaldo did that. He changed position with his age. Messi's done that. And I think we start they're all question marks, I think, whether Son could do it. Is his game too much reliant on pace and all that kind of stuff? And I think he's showing that it isn't, and that he's got other qualities, and even he's still quick, obviously. I'm not saying he's lost his pace, but even without his pace, he's still got so much to offer.
He's just got such a smart football brain, hasn't he? His football IQ is really high, and I don't think people maybe gave him enough credit for that in previous seasons. So big up to Heung-min Son. Let's move on to number 3, and that is reliable venom.
Yeah, and another really important display from Vicario yesterday, and 2 crucial saves, which especially at 0-0, an exceptional save from Paulinho, which could be a completely different game if Vicario lets that in. But considering the way we play, and sometimes, you know, you do concede chances to your opposition, you need a goalkeeper to bail you out in those opportunities to allow you to keep sustaining that pressure on the opposition and keep on top of them. The fact that we play with so much possession, and then we concede the few chances we do. And when we do, he has an 84% save percentage, which is the best in the Premier League. When it comes to post-shot expected goals, which is a metric to decide how many goals you should be saving, he has prevented 3.3 goals, which is second in the Premier League only to the Wolves goalkeeper, Jose Sarr, which goes to, and when you couple that with the fact that I think we're mid-table for the amount of shots we're conceding. That's a really impressive stat that he's conceded 3 goals, and not conceded 3 goals in those positions. And he made 2 crucial saves yesterday. And he's really stepping in when we need him to, even though he's not being tested that much. He's when called upon, he's making big saves at big opportunities, and that's a really important role for a goalkeeper, especially when you're playing in a possession-based side like us.
His shot stopping ability is unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. You're seeing him make those saves where I kind of compare it to I've made this comparison before, but I kind of compare it to like Gomez in that unbelievable season he had for us. You know, when he tipped on Van Persie's free kick over the bar and stuff like that. That season when he was just unbelievable, making saves where he just had no right to make at times. And I feel like Vicario's shot stopping ability is that similar level and that kind of style as well. I do think his playing out the back needs a bit of work, but it's not really hindering us, which is something to be said. But I just can't praise him enough in terms of his mentality, his kind of personality that comes off on the squad, and also his goalkeeping ability in terms of shot saving ability is second to none. So I think he's unbelievable. Yeah,
and to add on to his shot saving ability, what I really like about him so far is when shots are coming in on him, there's been very little spillages, like saves back into dangerous positions and stuff like that, like you see with maybe Onana and things like that. Very few handling issues. I think his handling has been pretty exceptional so far in his Spurs shirt, and I think I'm just delighted with how he's playing.
You wouldn't have found one fan of Manchester United or even Tottenham before the season started to say that Vicario is better than Onana.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can you find a fan that says Onana is better than Vicario?
Only people who haven't seen Vicario play.
Yeah, literally. And what about the whole David Raya situation as well? Like he seems to be not performing well at Arsenal at the moment.
Yeah, and
we went for Vicario because we couldn't get Raya, and I couldn't be happier as Vicario is our goalkeeper right now. Mm-hmm. Let's move on to number 4, and that is Richarlison upturn.
Yeah, and I really think he's been improving over the last few weeks. And it's now, I think in his last 6 games, I think it's 2 goals and 3 assists. I think in all competitions, maybe I think that's with the Carabao Cup game. Oh, sorry, that's also this season. This season now. That's this season. 6 starts, 2 goals and 3 assists in all competitions, which... It's not look, that's not a bad record. That's 5 goal contributions in 6 starts, albeit one of the goals was off the bench against Sheffield United. But yesterday, obviously one key pass.
He came on and completely changed that game by
100%.
Golden assist with a 2-1 win in the last minute.
Exactly. I thought yesterday was more evidence of an upturn in form. He had 1 key pass, 3 shots, won 3 of his 7 ground duels, and obviously got that assist to break the deadlock as well. And he was not only was he really good on the ball and linking up with Udogie and a good part of our good foot play going forward, but off the ball he was working tirelessly, getting in blocks and running, chasing back the fullback Castagna many times as well, drawing fouls from Castagna as well on a few occasions. And I really think the last few games there are big signs of improvement for Richarlison. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, I'd agree with everything that you said, and I think he is impacting games well at the moment. But he needs to find his shooting boots. He really does. The 2 chances he missed at Luton in the first 10 minutes of the game, and yesterday as well, he missed 1 or 2 gilt-edged chances. So I think he's impacting games, but once he gets into that 6-yard box and he's asked to finish, he needs to be doing better in those situations. But look, you got to give him praise for continuing to improve. That's the main takeaway.
Yeah.
And last but not least, the fifth and final takeaway is Ange breaks record.
Yeah, and obviously after the win yesterday, Tottenham sit top with 23 points out of a possible 27, and that is a new Premier League record for a new manager coming into a Premier League team for their first 9 games, which is absolutely exceptional. Considering how many managers have come into the Premier League, the fact that Postecoglou has beaten all of them after 9 games and he's been able to set that record just is more evidence of what an amazing start to the season he has had at Spurs and what an impact he has made. And look, he's proving everyone wrong at the moment. He's proving all the doubters wrong. We're playing amazing football. We're getting results, and even results like yesterday where maybe it wasn't the best game of football you ever see in terms of how we played, but sometimes, not every game can be thrills and spills like Liverpool and Sheffield United with last minute winners. Sometimes you need to have just those consistent wins where you just manage the game and you get a couple of goals and you see it out, and that's what we did yesterday. Maybe we're showing signs of consistency.
We're definitely showing signs of consistency when we haven't lost a game in 9 and we've only drawn 2 as well. And both those draws, first game of the season, first game for Ange, a draw at Brentford, nothing, too bad about that. And then going to the Emirates and taking a point where, a lot of people said we could have won that game as well. So you're definitely seeing consistency in there. But in terms of that record, I think it's super impressive. Not just for someone to come in and do that, but with the whole story surrounding everything. You're losing Harry Kane, and who's your best player for the past 10 years or whatever it may be. Club was depressed, the fans were depressed, the players were depressed. There was no way that you could say this is our defined style of playing football. We'd been in the trenches with Conte and Mourinho and Nuno without seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. And he's just come in straight away, brought in players that were out in the dark a little bit last season with his new signings as well. And to have that record and to sit top of the league at this stage of the season, I don't think anyone's praise could be high enough for Ange Postecoglou and the work that he has done at this football club. So big up to Ange, because it's just been absolutely sensational. It really has. Everything has changed since he's come in this football club. The atmosphere in every single game has been electric. The football has been electric, and the results have been electric. So that is our 5 takeaways. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding our takeaways. If we have missed anything, if you have keyed out a takeaway from the game, let us know in the comments section below.